Jake, the proud owner of 5 German Shepherd dogs, took them for multiple walks every day. While walking dogs is a common activity, there was something about Jake that puzzled his neighbors. It didn't take long for them to notice his unusual behavior, but they couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was. In Jake's busy neighborhood, it was common to see him walking with his 5 German Shepherd dogs. He took them out for walks 3 to 4 times a day, always allowing a strict schedule. In the mornings, he would walk for about 15 minutes, and in the evenings, he walked for an impressive 20 minutes. What made Jake different was that he always chose different routes for his walks, unlike other dog owners who stuck to the same paths every time. As a result, the neighborhood became well acquainted with Jake, affectionately dubbed by some as the German Shepherd guy. Initially, upon his arrival in the street, he was regarded as a commendably orderly individual who simply favored consistency in his daily routines. The neighbors, while appreciative of his punctuality and dedication to his pets, perceived little more beneath the surface. However, amidst this general sentiment, one neighbor stood apart, Mrs. Goddard, Jake's direct neighbor. Mrs. Goddard was different from other people. She could see beyond just appearances. Even though Jake seemed neat and organized at first glance, Mrs. Goddard had a feeling that there was more to him than met the eye. While everyone else took Jake at face value, Mrs. Goddard paid attention to the little details, trusting her instincts instead of just what she saw on the surface. After several months of Jake's residence in the new neighborhood, Mrs. Goddard found herself joined by an increasing number of neighbors who shared her sense of unease regarding Jake's behavior. While they collectively sensed an air of peculiarity surrounding Jake, they struggled to articulate precisely what it was that unsettled them. Despite her advanced age of 70 years, Mrs. Goddard found herself limited in her capacity to address the matter directly. However, within their midst was a beacon of youthful determination, Stephen, Mrs. Goddard's 17-year-old grandson. One fateful day, Stephen reached his breaking point amidst the incessant gossip and speculation surrounding Jake. Driven by a fervent desire to unravel the mystery surrounding Jake's actions, Stephen resolved to uncover the truth. Was Jake merely a fastidious individual adhering rigidly to his routines, or did his behavior conceal deeper, more enigmatic motivations? With an unwavering resolve, Stephen embarked on a quest to discern the veracity of Jake's intentions and uncover the secrets that lay beneath the surface. One morning, spotting Jake passing by, he made a split decision to trail him discreetly. As Jake veered into a side street, he followed, leading to a deserted storage facility. The building appeared abandoned for years. Stephen halted, straining to listen. There it was again, a sound resembling Jake and his dogs emanating from within. Puzzled by how and why, Stephen ducked behind a dumpster. Peering through a gap, he witnessed Jake entering with his dogs, engrossed in a phone call, displaying a mix of disappointment and frustration. "I had it. I really thought I had it," he lamented, frustration evident in his trembling voice. "Don't worry, you'll recover it," Stephen pondered what Jake meant. Was he pursuing something? What was Jake's purpose inside? Stephen desired to investigate, but as he resolved to enter, his mother's text interrupted. "Where are you?" Accompanied by 4 missed phone calls, hastily he phoned her back and hurried home, hoping to avoid encountering Jake on the way. Upon reaching home, Stephen swiftly concocted an excuse he knew his mother would buy into. Despite not unraveling the mystery of Jake's activities, Stephen felt an undeniable urge to pursue the matter further. The following morning, Stephen positioned himself by his window, eagerly anticipating Jake's routine morning stroll. His gaze fixated on Jake's residence, awaiting the inevitable departure. Yet uncertainty lingered regarding the direction Jake would take. While yesterday had witnessed Jake's passing by Stephen's abode, it marked the inaugural instance in nearly 3 weeks. At long last, the creak of Jake's front door heralded his emergence, accompanied by his 5 loyal canines. Departing in the opposite direction from Stephen's dwelling, Stephen sprang to his feet, hastening to exit his own abode. As dawn broke, Stephen retraced his steps to the perplexing storage facility. Each footfall resonated in the stillness, reverberating against the backdrop of the unadulterated, decrepit structure. With the sun casting its illuminating rays, Stephen harbored hopes that the daylight would shed more light on Jake's clandestine endeavors. Every part of the building became like a piece of a mystery for Stephen to solve. He keeps a close eye on Jake, watching him meet different people secretly at different times of the day. These secret meetings happen when it's dark, hidden from anyone who might be watching. Stephen thinks a lot about who these mysterious people are and how they are connected to Jake. While Jake meets with them secretly, Stephen quietly keeps track of the pictures and items they exchange, knowing they must be important. Each exchange seems like it means something, but Stephen can't quite figure out what that is, like trying to catch smoke in his hands. Stephen's curiosity reaches its highest point as he accidentally listens to Jake talking mysteriously on the phone. Hearing words like location, timing, and description make Stephen even more curious. Every day, he keeps watching Jake secretly meet with different people, and this secrecy only makes Stephen want to know more. While watching Jake, Stephen discovers something amazing. He sees one of Jake's dogs expertly following a scent from an object to a specific place. The dog is really good at this, and Stephen is impressed by its skill. This discovery makes Stephen even more curious about what Jake is doing, and he decides he's determined to find out the truth, no matter what. Stephen's non-stop search for answers almost puts his own secret plans at risk. Driven by a strong desire to know more, Stephen digs deeper into the mysteries surrounding Jake's actions. Finding pet toys and leashes scattered in Jake's car gives him important clues, hinting at a big connection to Jake's mysterious work. Stephen's mind races with guesses as he tries to figure out the meaning of these seemingly ordinary items and how they fit into the bigger picture. As Stephen starts to suspect more and more, he makes a big decision. He feels really determined to talk to Jake and finally figure out what's going on. Stephen feels nervous, but also ready to find out the truth. When he starts talking to Jake, he's a little scared, but also really determined to hear what Jake has to say. And as Jake starts talking, Stephen braces himself to learn the real reason behind Jake's secret mission. As Jake shares more about his secret job, Stephen learns about a whole new world he didn't know about before. Each thing Jake tells him reveals more about what he does, his dogs, and the hidden world of finding lost pets. Stephen listens carefully, wanting to understand everything about Jake's mysterious life. As Stephen hears more from Jake, he starts to see things differently. What used to seem mysterious and suspicious now seems noble and kind. Now that he understands more, Stephen feels sorry for Jake and wants to help him with his job as a pet detective. Stephen feels sure that combining his energy with Jake's experience and the skills of their dogs will make them a great team. They both agree to work together, using their different abilities to solve mysteries about lost pets in their neighborhood. They're excited to start working together and help people who are missing their pets. Stephen and Jake want to make a real difference in the lives of these families. As they navigate the challenges of being pet detectives, they bring hope and happiness to the people they meet along the way. News spread rapidly across the neighborhood about Jake's work as a pet detective and how he helped reunite Max with his owner successfully. People in the community start to see Jake differently now. They no longer doubt him, but admire his commitment to bringing lost pets back to their families. Jake's reputation as a pet detective keeps growing. To celebrate their success, the community decides to honor Jake and Stephen for their hard work. They organize a fun party with lots of food, laughter, and music. Everyone enjoys this moment of happiness, and thanks to Jake and Stephen for all they've done for the neighborhood. The neighborhood now understands and appreciates the good work Jake does and how it makes their lives better. They used to have doubts about him, and now they trust and admire him. With their good reputation and the community's support, Jake and Steven start a new phase of their partnership. They're ready and excited to help more pet owners who need them. Their joint effort to bring lost pets back to their owners gives them a strong sense of happiness and purpose. The story ends happily as they continue reuniting lost pets and owners, bringing joy, relief, and hope to everyone involved. Jake and Steven feel really good about their mission, and the community supports them a lot. They work together to help others, and this makes a big impact on the lives of the people they help. Their teamwork and kindness leaves a lasting mark on the community.